Hey everybody, Stippling Vaughn, and you know where I am. You can tell it from the music. Haven't been a while since I did a pan. Show them at my local bar doing work, but I forgot my stand. So this might be a short video. So it all depends. So one of the bad things about having the stand is or when I don't have the stand, I should say, is I have to hold the phone while I'm making the video, so don't have all the control I normally would have. One nice thing about those is it enables me to really control the camera, so I can focus on keeping the camera on the area where I'm working. I know sometimes when I'm working and I have the camera set up or in a stand, I get into working and I don't pay attention, and next thing you know, my work goes off screen like this. So that is one nice thing. So breaking in a new nib. So when you're breaking in a new nib and you're stippling, it doesn't a lot of times lay the dots down. So you have to hit it a couple times to get the flow going. So you can see how I'm having issues, but it's all part of the game when you're stippling. So it's just like with any other tool when you're first breaking it in. So please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. Always helps. So yeah, we're having issues. So it's not a big deal, because I've got, what I'm doing is, you may have seen if you look at earlier videos, this is a page that I had already started working on. Thing was, is this bottom panel here, I didn't like at all how it was turning out. Wow, that's not focusing at all. There we go. So didn't like how this panel turned out, so I'm just redoing the whole page. This top upper panel up here and this lower one down here, not working on I didn't start working on them yet to transfer them over, primarily because they've got like reveals that I don't want you guys to see yet. So I'm not in a hurry to work on them and put them to paper when I'm working on this panel here and the bottom panel. After I get done with this video, what I'll do is, like this, with that bottom panel that I showed you that I didn't like how it was turning out, what I'll do is I'll start working on that one. I'm working on drawing that one. So I just didn't like, her head was too low. The proportion between the guy looking at her and her at the door closing it, just didn't work. It looked like she was like bent over in half for her to be that low to the doorknob. So even though she's leaning down with it in this panel, she's not as low. It's more believable. And that's one of the things you always have to keep in mind when you're working on is the believability of what you're doing. And you gotta remember, the whole point of comics is suspension of belief. But you gotta be able to have so that people believe, okay, yeah, I can understand why she'd be bending over that far to close the door. As opposed to how a real person would be doing it, because we're not doing stage theater, we're doing comic books. So where you have to imply the motion, you don't see the motion, so that's where over-exaggeration comes in. So, but Ethan Van Sciver's been doing a lot of live streaming while he's doing head sketches for his, because he's fulfilling Wrecked Planet, and he's been doing a lot of head sketch drawings. And I will tell you, I am really impressed with the level of work he's putting into these head sketches. For the $100 that you paid, you're really getting your money's worth, because not a single one of them look the same. He does a different drawing each time, whether it be Cyberfrog or whether it be Heather Swain, or I haven't seen him do any Salamandroids yet. but it looks like to me like he's going, each one is different. This is completely different from like how like Shane and John Malin have been doing their head sketches. The way they do their head sketches is they'll do a drawing, and then after they do their drawing, they then take a fresh sheet of paper, slap it on the light box, and then light box it out. So that's how you're getting a head sketch from them. Is essentially it's just a copy or a light box copy with slight differences between the two. Whereas Ethan's going fresh drawing, fresh sketch, and every single one of them looks completely different. And so you're really getting your money's worth in quality and product with his head sketches. It's really, I think it's $100 he's charging, and you're getting your money's worth. So, and he's been doing a really good draw streams. I've really enjoyed them. A lot of interaction with the fans. He touches on some topics. Really doesn't go in his rants like he does when he's doing a regular show and has guests on. I get a sense when he has after Comicsgate Kings on Monday, he was just doing his draw stream, and he was contemplating on just going over the John Malin stream. And then Rainey popped on, and she was like, "Yeah, I could do that anytime. I'd rather do a draw stream." And then Art T. Bear popped on, and just listening to them chat away while they were drawing, I liked it. Especially for Ethan. Ethan's never, other than probably high school, he's never worked in a studio format like a lot of artists have. Art T. Bear, of course, when he was with Extreme Studios working for Rob Liefeld, when he had his own studio, Hack Shack Studios, you can see where Art has definitely worked in a studio format. Rainey, I get a strong impression she's worked in a studio format. She definitely did when she was going to art school, college. So seeing Ethan in that format that he's normally not in that type of environment for drawing was different, quite enjoyable. So it was different, and it really wasn't a lot of, in some ways they talk shit, but a lot of times just like really like just talking about their experiences and their opinions, and it's very casual. They're not really, they do it almost like you are not, like you're listening in, you're getting a chance to listen in, but they act like you're not there. And they're just, that's how the studio is. I mean, you can go from talking about politics to talking about sports to talking about what somebody's doing, all the way to what someone had for lunch. So it was a very refreshing stream. I'm going to make certain I include links to all three of their campaigns in the information of this video, so that way you have a chance to check out any of their campaigns. I always try to do that. I feel it's the best way I can help promote them is to include them in the link if I mention them in a video. So like another one, link I'll be including will be Anne Lepresti's Wraith of God. And the reason why is because the reason why I'm working on this piece is because the fan piece of Wraith of God has been completed. It was been working on it for 2 months, actually even longer than 2 months, I think. But I got it done. I had a great time working on it. It was a great challenge, and so far I've been getting some good responses to people. I hope people are enjoying looking at it. I had fun working on it, and the reason why I showed it off while I was doing these videos. So, and another thing, another campaign that really should be has some extra love being thrown its way. It is sorry. Whiskey Sierra and Donald DeLay are doing a book called No Cover. And John May Lynn and his fight to get a Dale Keown cover. And the trials and tribulations they go through. Now, one of the reasons why I really like this is it's going to have a lot of inside jokes. And it's basically storytelling to tell a story about CG lore. And it's lore for the current fans. I want to say the current fans, I want to say within this last year. Okay? And CG keeps growing. A lot of people who have come in over this last year and a half, they know about Cecil's cash grab with the children's formatted story called Dirtworm Doug. Dirtworm Doug is about CG lore that was before I was a CG fan. So I can't relate to that story, and hence the reason why I didn't back it, nor did I back Cash Grab, because I don't know, it's like, as Mike Barron put it, this is the filthiest, most offensive thing I've ever read, and Cecil's response is, thanks, can I use that quote? And that's Cecil for you. But like, No Cover is basically telling lore of CG, and it has been shadow banned and really could use some support. That's another thing I really have been impressed with CG, is how all these creators have been able to overcome this issue of shadow banning. And instead of them throwing up their arms in defeat and walking away, or trying to find another campaign or find another platform, they are sticking to their guns, they're staying with the platform, and they are heavily promoting themselves on YouTube, on their channels related to them, to overcome this. Shane Davis even went as far as create his own crowdfunding platform, and you see it ever since he started his own platform, which means it's able to be found on Google searches. His campaign has been steadily increasing again. So that shows again how's he overcoming the shadow ban. Graham Nolan has been overcoming the shadow ban by going on other channels that normally Comicsgate creators wouldn't be on. This last Friday, he was on Geeks and Gamers Friday Night Tights. Now, I didn't watch it. I've never watched Friday Night Tights. This episode, Graham's episode, I'll probably want to go and check out. So, just to see him interacting with a different crowd. So, but as you can see how it's going on, it's not much really to look at right now. I think you'll get a lot more of a sense when I show this video next weekend. I'm probably not going to be doing, in fact I know I'm not going to be doing a video tomorrow. We're going out to the IKEA store out by Philly, and so that's going to be an all-day affair, because when we get back we got to put the stuff together. And one of the things we're shooting for when we go out to there is to find a good office chair for my girlfriend. She had a good office chair, but it was a chair that was issued through the job. And now that she's working for a different employer, they don't issue chairs. So as a result, we've got to go out and we've got to get her a new work chair. So when we get back tomorrow after IKEA, I'll be putting that together, plus whatever else we put together. So I will not have time to post the video or to stream. We may miss Aaron live, or if we do miss Aaron live, it'll be while we're putting this stuff to get all this stuff together. So, but we'll see how it goes. But we need to go out and get a new chair. It's needed. So, because she needs a work chair plus we need a cabinet to put the china dishes in, and she wants something that's narrow but has glass doors and would sit along a wall. So IKEA has that type of furniture, and it'd be a lot cheaper than going to a furniture store around here. That's one of the first things we noticed. So when you go to IKEA, it's cheaper. It's all sawdust and glue is what it's made out of, but it's 10 times cheaper than even buying knockdown furniture around here. So, and because of this image here, because it's a silhouette of him drinking from the bottle, you really just want to keep hammering away and get it as dark as possible. You almost want it to be a straight black. And it's easy to say, well, why don't you just make it a straight black? Because you got to have a form of gestalt between the image with the images overall. And so you can't have the stippling for some and not all of it. It just doesn't, it's very hard for it to get to blend together. So you just keep hammering away like I'm doing now. And then when you get to a spot where it's like too much is in one spot, like I'm doing right now. I'm doing this intentionally right now. I'm intentionally hitting this area. So you can see how it's going to be so much darker than the other area. And then you just go up to this area, hit it again with another layer of dots. And when you hit it with another layer of dots, it gets even darker. So I know this may not seem, visually it's not that entertaining to you guys. But this is part of the process of stippling, is hitting these areas over and over again. If you look at the Wraith of God piece, the guy is in the foreground who's crunched over. That was a series of layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers to get it as dark as it was. And that's the reason why you have it like, okay, we've got a layer going on here. Then we want this side of it to be darker. And then we need this to be darker than that. And you can see how I'm doing that, how I'm creating the layer by doing one screen of dots, then doing another screen, then another screen. So you get that layer of dimension and blending of the dots. So, which is easy to show a demo right here and not worry about where you're screwing it up, because this is all going to be dark. So again, just go in and get to the point where, okay, we really want this light. So let's really, damn it, this nib is just too damn new. And that's another thing that sucks. When I had a nib, and that's the worst thing when you're stippling nibs, is it's almost when the nib gets to its last breath that lays down the dot so perfectly, and then it dies on you. So now you gotta break in a whole new nib. So part of what I'm doing, which is entertaining to you guys, is you hit one of these areas that's going to be just a large silhouette, so you can break in the nib. So you can see how you got some lights going on here. And just keep layering the layers, make it darker and darker, and you're not only putting the layers in, you're working in this nib so it gets more flex to it, so it lays the dots down better, and you get more of a uniform feel to the dots. Now, the reason why I work with a 102 as opposed to a disposable Rapidio is I like the fact that, here, let's see here. See how these dots, okay, see how these dots are not uniform in size and shape, okay? And it gives that organic feel to it. Whereas when you go to Rapidio, it's all uniform. And as a result, you could be doing a leaf, but when you're done doing that leaf, it doesn't have that organic feel to it because all the dots are relatively the same. Almost looks like you put it into a machine, like an AI computer machine, and it just spit it out. Because the AI, it doesn't know or understand this. It just goes by what it sees, what others have done. So, and as you can see, you're starting to get more of a sense with the dots, with the layering. So you can see how the nibs slowly starting to get broken in. So that way when I go over here, and we'll go over here. So I want to have a screen, almost like a Zipatone screen over here. You know, I have it dark to light, okay? See, again, it's so new, it's not rigid even though there's ink there. Okay, you can see how it's slowly coming in. Still not completely to my liking. So, we still got more work to do with this nib before I can really go in and really do a nice fade vignette. Because right now you can see where it does a little bit of a better job when I flip it around and I do it upside down. It gives it more of a fan feel to it, nice like mist to it. So that's how it goes. So okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, Ethan's been doing a lot of covers, a lot of sketch covers, and he's been doing a great job. Also, today, Billy Tucci is launching She, Dorm of the Dead. So make sure you check out that. Ethan's going to be launching on his stream, on his channel. Make sure you check that out and check out Billy's new campaign. So, but until then, remember everybody, life is stressful. Just take it all one dot at a time.